everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Keep, Watch, Pass. We got a fun one for you, but very first, allow me to introduce a very pretty woman in her own right, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing today?
I love it. Very nice. Very, very excellent introduction. Thank you very much.
I thought so, right?
Oh, you're sweet. You say things.
I do say things. And I say things because today we are talking about films starring Julia Roberts. So when we were coming up with who to talk about on Keep, Watch, Pass this weekend, and we mentioned, Julia Roberts, were you excited for this?
Absolutely. Oh my God. First of all, her hair is always on point. I mean, you know that I've rocked the red hair, but there has always been that goal to have the Julia Roberts perfect, curly hair. Oh my God, she's always stunning. And I absolutely, from a kid, I have been watching Julia Roberts and just have always saw her as a style icon. So I absolutely love Julia Roberts. So I'm a big fan. Excited to be here about this.
On the Mount Rushmore, so four heads, on the Mount Rushmore of Hollywood redheads, is she on the Mount Rushmore?
Oh, for redheads, for sure. And then, of course, you have to give Scarlett Johansson props for her red hair.
I think you have to put Nicole Kidman on there as well. No, huh?
Okay. I mean, maybe if you want.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, who would you put on the redhead Mount Rushmore?
The redhead Mount. I was so not prepared for this, but Julia Roberts rocks the red.
You mentioned Scarlett Johansson.
Drew Barrymore. When she's got her red hair going.
See, I
love Drew.
I equate Drew Barrymore as a blonde, though. I don't know if I put her on the redhead Mount Rushmore.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
Karen Gillan?
Yeah, definitely. There's a spot for her as well.
Okay.
Who else? Who played Josie in Josie and the Pussycats?
Oh, Rachel Lee Cook.
But and Allison Hannigan.
Oh, Allison Hannigan definitely has to go on the redhead Mount Rushmore because I equate Rachel Lee Cook as a brunette as opposed to a redhead, but she does rock the red well. It would be like looking at Georgia Tennant in the third season of Staged.
Oh my God, her hair was on point. It was kind of like a strawberry blonde. Mm-hmm. Yes. 1,000%. In fact, I think Georgia wins out of all
again,
of them.
I equate her as blonde, so I don't know if I put her on the redhead Mount Rushmore.
No. She rocked the strawberry blonde.
We've lost the path here. We've completely strayed on to a different.
It's all about the hair, people.
We've created a new show here, but no. Let's get back on track because we are about to go through Julia Roberts' filmography, picking 3 movies each: a keep, a watch, and a pass. Now, the keep would probably be on our Julia Roberts Mount Rushmore of movies. The watch would be under consideration for the Mount Rushmore of movies. And the pass would be on the Mount Nevermore of movies. So, you like that, right? So now we're going to hand it over to you, my lovely redhead. And what would your keep movie be for movies starring Julia Roberts?
My keep is not a movie that you would tend to think of Julia Roberts automatically if you heard the title. And again, a Drew Barrymore property, a Sam Rockwell property.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
That's a solid pick.
And Julia Roberts' character in this as the temptress, murderous, double agent, oh my God. The character she played in this was what I wanted to see of Julia Roberts in Ocean's 11 and 12, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But I think she just absolutely stole the movie. I mean, it's a great movie. Yeah. Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, absolutely, without a doubt, has a top spot, a top billing, if you will, in my DVD collection. Love this movie.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is a wonderful film. And I remember when we got the DVD, we watched it a few times, and then we watched it with the director's commentary. And it was so good because this was one of George Clooney's, I think, first directed films. And they did such a good job with it. And Julia Roberts, yes, is a standout in this film. I think Drew Barrymore is also a standout in this film as well.
Oh, yeah. Not to mention Sam Rockwell as Chuck Barris.
Yeah, and this is kind of where Sam Rockwell kind of sold you on his acting and whatnot. Like, I thought he was great in Galaxy Quest. Loved him in Galaxy Quest, but it was
Mr. Right.
But it was more of an ensemble with Galaxy Quest. Mr. Right is definitely a him movie, and and Anna Kendrick as well. But this film,
Matchstick Men as well. He stole it from Nick Cage.
Yeah, but not so much because I wasn't the biggest fan of that film.
Well, okay, but he stole the show.
Yes, but I mean, you're still in the show from Nick Cage, right? So, you're kind of grading on a curve there on that one. Love that show. I know, it's a great podcast. My keep is a movie that we have talked about before on It's Not That Bad, and that's America's Sweethearts.
I knew you were going to go there.
I said on that episode, by the way, you can go back and listen to that episode. So, just go to our website, notthatbadcast.com. You'll be able to find it.
Nice, shameless self-promotion.
I am not shameless at all. I will do it happily so. No, this is actually one of my more favorite Julia Roberts roles, period. She was so much fun in this. She was, despite the fact of not being the lead actress, that being Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think it was perfect. The balance between her and John Cusack in this, and then the fun that she had with Billy Crystal in it as well. I love this film. I absolutely love this film.
I know you do.
And I know, you're not the biggest rom-com fan, and I'm not the biggest rom-com fan, but this is one of those rare films that kind of leaped out of the genre, and I think it's probably because of the actors. Like, John Cusack is freaking John Cusack, right? Billy Crystal is an absolute gem. Julia Roberts in this film is adorable.
Well, I absolutely loved that, again, it's not a Julia Roberts film. She played the, I don't even want to say, but the ugly duckling sister to her.
For lack of a better term, yes.
Beautiful, everybody loves, what was Catherine Zeta-Jones's character name? Everybody loves.
Oh, I can't even remember, but
whatever her name was.
But then you got Julia Roberts as Kiki. Kiki.
Yes, everybody loves Kiki, right? And and literally, she would starve herself or deny herself carbs, just to, try and be considered as beautiful as her sister. And she was her assistant and just kind of devoted her entire life to running after her sister.
It's like she went the other way. Instead of stress eating, she was stress working out.
Right.
Which, if Catherine Zeta-Jones in that movie is your sister, you're going to have a whole lot of stress.
But again, there was that whole tension that, probably in their marriage, right? Julia Roberts' character probably spent more time with
John Cusack,
Cusack than Kiki did.
But the thing is, it's a really good ensemble comedy too, and it had so many laughs in it and so many good pratfalls and situations, for the actors to get into. Like, it really is a fun comedy. Billy Crystal wrote it. He didn't direct, but he was originally planning on directing it. But you can hear Billy Crystal's comedy in all the dialogue, and I just love it. I do.
Well, no one ever gets murdered in a Hyatt.
Exactly. you go to other hotels for that.
I freaking love it.
Other hotels, not so much, but no one gets murdered. Okay, so for my watch film, I'm going with a bit more of a dramatic take, and it's not necessarily a Julia Roberts film. It's actually more of a Tom Hanks film, and I'm going with Charlie Wilson's War. This is based on a true story, and Julia Roberts plays the very well-to-do Southern belle who is also a political financial backer, and it's a really, really good movie. And I mean, I love this movie for Tom Hanks, but Julia Roberts, when she's on the screen, steals the scene every time.
Well, I mean, that's safe to say for the most of her movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like as soon as you see Julia Roberts on the screen, it's like, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if it's not in the lead role, I mean, because it's a smaller part for her, but I don't often get a chance to talk about how good Charlie Wilson's War is as a film. And I think it's even more impactful when you realize that it is based on a true story. It is based in, a very difficult time in America's history, but I think it's handled in a well enough, safe enough way for you to be able to appreciate the story and not get caught up with the reality that it was dealing with at the time. So what is your watch film?
My watch, of course, is the quintessential, like rags to riches or, New York prostitute to the belle of the ball, Pretty Woman.
Right.
I absolutely loved this movie. I thought Julia Roberts was stunning, both from the start of the movie to the end.
From the street corner to the corner suite. Yes.
Ooh, I like that. Yes.
Yeah, that should have been the tagline right there, right?
I like it.
I feel like I need my trailerized voice right now. From the street corner to the corner suite. She'll kiss up, but she won't kiss down. That's no. We're just going too far here. Oh boy, we just went to a really, really bad direction. But no, this really is, like the breakout role. Like, yes, she was in Mystic Pizza before this, but this very much was the breakout role. Throw in Must Have Been Love from Roxette. Like it was quintessentially of the time and hit every single one of those notes. And I mean, really, when you take a look at the, for lack of a better term, Mount Rushmore of rom-coms, you might actually put Pretty Woman, sorry, English language, you might put Pretty Woman up on the Mount Rushmore of rom-coms.
Oh, completely. I mean, it was definitely her breakout role. Mm-hmm. Yes, she had others, but this movie catapulted Julia Roberts to stardom. And I really think that she was absolutely perfect for it. It was almost kind of like when they wrote the script or when they envisioned the rise of a character to just absolute stardom. Like she had to be the only pick. She was amazing in this movie.
Oh, absolutely. And, stellar supporting cast as well. Like it really was. Now I'm just curious, what is your top rom-com? Even if it doesn't have Julia Roberts in it, what is like that number one rom-com? Is this it?
I would definitely say so. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't prepared to answer that question, but it is most certainly up there. And like you said, it's not really a genre that I gravitate towards, and I it's interesting because that's an excellent segue to my pass.
Oh,
because my pass is indeed the more recent rom-com starring the pairing of George Clooney and Julia Roberts in Ticket to Paradise. And
really?
Yeah, and I'm so disappointed to even be sitting here saying this because I had such high hopes. I really did. I loved the concept that, Julia Roberts, George Clooney were previously married. They wind up just spitefully hating each other. Like there is just venom in their words. So you could tell that, it didn't go so well, maybe, upon the breakup. But they reunite, they reconnect. Long story short, their daughter is getting married. And I think where I'm going with this, and not to spoil the ending, but the ending was disappointing. It was very disappointing. And that brings me to why it is my pass, because I watched it, I really did, and I had high hopes, and as much as I don't love rom-coms, I still subscribe to I want the fairy book ending, and it just wasn't there. It missed the pass. So
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I know when this movie came out, when you consider it came out fairly recently, and there was all this talk about where's the love, where's the fun, where's the rom-coms, is the rom-com dead kind of thing. And when this movie came out, and you were like, this is what we need, this is going to be good, this is going to be fun. It's George Clooney and Julia Roberts, which is usually pretty much just printing money. I get that, but I feel bad that you feel kind of let down by this.
Again, and it all kind of came down to the ending, and I don't want to spoil it because it's a fairly recent movie, but it was just kind of like, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, because I'm throwing questions at you weren't prepared for. Is the rom-com in 2023 dead?
In the movie theater or on TV?
In the theater.
In the theaters.
Because I do think, and I'll get my own opinion in there first. I think the rom-com is finding life on streaming, on like Netflix and Prime, and they're starting to put money into those kind of properties. But I think, for me personally, I think the rom-com in the theater is dead. But what do you think? Now,
I'm going to twist this into a question without answering.
Okay.
So I'm completely calling my shot here. Is it that the rom-com is dead, or the star power duo of the quintessential, like I'm talking like the Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, the questionably George Clooney and Julia Roberts. Blah, blah, blah. I almost made like a Bennifer type calling there.
Kluberts.
Exactly there. The Bennifer, right? Like, is it that there just really is a lack of, I don't know, connection, or a lack of, I don't know, charisma between?
I think it's a thing that people want a little bit more than just the rom-com. It's got to have a little bit more. Like, I think the last decent, arguably film that you could consider a rom-com that did well in the theaters was probably The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum, which was, that was just so much fun.
Okay, but that's almost like a spoof to the rom-com genre.
But I think that's what sold that film. I mean, yes, there was a time when movies like When Harry Met Sally and Say Anything and Pretty Woman, right, and Notting Hill and all these movies, like they were the box office for a while. And I just think that, yes, the box office is still not anywhere near what it was pre-pandemic, but I think people are looking for more in their movies at the theater than they want something more, not just something that you could probably get on a streaming service with a bunch of no-name actors. And I think maybe that's what it is. But before we really get into like serious movie debates, the state of the cinema, my past movie is actually Ocean's 12. Now, don't get me wrong, Ocean's 11 is so much fun. I thought Ocean's 11 was, not just a good movie, but a good remake as well. When you're dealing with a remake of like literally the Rat Pack, it's, like you got a tall task ahead of you, but the cast that they assembled for Ocean's 11 hit on, like, firing on all cylinders. Like, you could not go wrong with anyone in that cast. But I think the problem with Ocean's 12 is that it fell into the same trope that all of a sudden we did something great at the box office. Now we have to do it all over again. And I think the problem there is that after Ocean's 11, you're moving into uncharted territories, and now you have to tell a different story. And it felt like everything had already been said with Ocean's 11.
I agree. I like where they were trying to go with it, with the girl power angle, and the girls are doing it for themselves kind of thing. But
no, you're thinking Ocean's 8. Ocean's 12 is the sequel, direct sequel to Ocean's 11.
Oh, with the same characters. I am thinking Ocean's 8.
Yeah, you're thinking Ocean's 8.
Was she not in that one?
No, she definitely was not in Ocean's 8. Ocean's 12, yep, she was in, throwing Catherine Zeta-Jones. It feels like an America's Sweethearts thing. But it really was all of a sudden, like, it was the same thing. And I think it's one of those things with Hollywood where leave well enough alone. Know that sometimes once is enough. You don't need to continually tap the well. Carrie, thank you so much for joining me down this road. This was fun. Like, Julia Roberts has one of those massive filmographies that, again, we could probably do a volume 2, even if you discount some of the movies we've already talked about on this episode. But it was so much fun. Now, listeners, we want to know what movies you would have picked for Julia Roberts. What are your keep, watch, and pass films? Hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. Let us know. We love to hear from you. Carrie, thank you so much. You're awesome. Listeners, you guys are always awesome. This is Keep, Watch, Pass. Take care.
Hey folks, Stefan Shirazi and Renee Richardson here from the Metallica Report.
And we are proud members of the Pantheon podcast family, where the best of music and podcasts unite.
We've got something pretty cool for you. We're giving away an exclusive Metallica merch package worth over $250.
That's a whole lot of Scary Guys, Skulls, M72, and other sought-after Metallica swag. And we've made it easy for you to win. Follow and share the Metallica Report, and you're in the game. Go to pantheonpodcast.com/Metallica, enter your email, and hit that button to be entered to win.
And just like that, you're eligible for our monthly exclusive Metallica merch package.
And guess what, rockers? You can enter every month, so just do it. And while we love our global brothers and sisters, the lawyers won't let us ship outside the U.S.